Hi, Eric Nelson here from TRG. I'm joined by my colleague Brad Carlin.
Hello.
Hey, we're here for TRG 5, a quick bite-size dive into the questions, the challenges that are facing the industry regarding patron engagement during COVID-19. So in each episode, we try to address one key important question. And today, we are going to think about frosting. And that frosting is renewing subscribers. So we're noticing, I'm hearing a lot of anxiety in the field, Brad, about it's that time of year when I should be crafting my renewal campaigns, and my season hasn't even opened yet. So, we typically start in September. Now we've pushed that back to February or March. So I'm being asked to frost a cake when the cake hasn't even been baked yet. So how do I do that? Is that weird? How do I ask my patrons to renew when they haven't even been able to attend something yet? So, we know renewals are this time that, we get to fall further in love with our patrons. It creates, consistent engagement, which is a pathway to longevity with activity with our organization. So it's so important. And we don't want to not have it happen. But what do we do? Brad, what are you hearing from, your clients from the industry about this particular issue?
Yeah, Eric, I'm definitely hearing the anxiety, and for some, the anxiety is on a range. It's on a spectrum of really how reliant is their business model on the cash flow of this
Yeah.
particular time of year. Some organizations have been able to navigate around that and have given themselves a little more room and time in the first part of 2021 there to adjust the timing of their renewal campaign, but others don't have that luxury, and they need to find a way to launch these campaigns at or around the normal time that they would, because they need the cash flow in the organization.
Yeah, indeed. And it's sort of, you want to refocus, but there's also this need at the same time that you talk about, and it's so real and so necessary. So how do we understand our patrons and their needs and marry that with our needs at the same time as an organization? One idea for folks to think about out there is one of our clients, American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. So they actually thought, let's actually expand, right? Instead of one season, let's think about, could we get our patrons, our subscribers to renew for 24 months? Builds in more flexibility, more consistency, and actually turn their subscription on its head a bit and created this membership model. So what you see here are three ways in that you can become a member of ACT that gets you different access to programming, some in seated, some virtual, some both. And by becoming a member, you're not buying a subscription, you're buying access so that when programming becomes available, you have first crack at seats to buy and you have first crack of streams to buy. So there's additional revenue that comes in, but it gets revenue in the door now and keeps folks active. So it's an interesting way to say, uh, let's have activity and consistency without having to be so tied to the when programming is available. So I
I
thought this
love
was super.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
I love this. I love the boldness of this, and we see in other organizations there that the appetites amongst our subscribers to engage with us in new and different ways, I think are a bit more robust than we would suspect, which I think is an important thing to underscore here, Eric, about, just to make sure we're questioning some of the assumptions we have or some of the fears that we have about
Yeah.
our most loyal patrons' appetites, their willingness to engage with us either in new and different ways, or remembering that we may have a whole bunch of folks who chose not to renew with us in 2020 for understandable reasons, but for whom demand is pent up. They are hungry, they are ready for cake and frosting and everything as soon as you are able to put it in front of them. And so test some of those assumptions and look at your database and your subscribers, and figure out where they are on that journey, and make sure that you can communicate with them that reflects where they are on that renewal path.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing you say, Brad, on that too is like, let's not be afraid of the
Yeah.
now, like that fear. Like, let's just put that spoon in that frosting jar and they can start eating it now. And
Yes.
and see where it goes and monitor the data, see how people are responding and reacting, but don't people want us to come back and they want to have
Yeah.
something to look forward to. So we would love, if you have questions about this, we can puzzle through it with you. Our contact information is here, so feel free to reach out to Brad or I. Also, we are offering a free hour of consulting. So in the details, in the links around this social post, you can see information on how you can book some time with Brad or I if you'd like to noodle through some of these concepts. We are here and happy to do that with you. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us for this TRG5 and really appreciate all the work you all are doing out there. So
Yeah, thanks everyone.
take care. Cheers.